In today's video, we're going to be looking at Lunar Tides in the color Citrine. So I have my swatches labeled 1 through 12, but that is not synonymous with hair levels. I do pictures and clips near the end of the video, so the numbers just help us keep track of each swatch. Also, these are human hair swatches, but the only one that is virgin hair is the number 4 black swatch. The rest have been chemically dyed or bleached at some point in their existence. So to start, I'll be taking the dye directly from the container and I'll be putting it at the top of each swatch. And then some people do like to dilute their dyes, so I'll do a diluted version at the bottom. Please keep in mind that everyone's hair is different, which means everyone's hair will take dye differently. On top of that, everyone's screens can make colors, especially undertones, look quite different between devices. So just use my video as a reference for how this could possibly turn out for you. For the diluted section, we're gonna do a 4:1 ratio, so that will be 4 parts of diluter to 1 part dye. If you're confused about what diluter is, my simple, easy answer is that it just lightens the color of the dye. And if you're wondering what I use to dilute, I just use a plain white conditioner. Okay, I'm gonna let these sit for about 3 hours. I will then rinse them out, and when they're dry, I'll meet you back here and we can do some comparisons with some other yellow dyes. So number 1 was the pink, and on both the direct dye and the diluted section, it turned a very like bright orangey color. I would say my least favorite would be number 2 and 12. More number 2 than number 12. For a lot of dyes, having a cool toned base, like a gray or toned blonde, turns out really well, but for yellows, it's not quite as intentional looking. But if I had to pick on number 2, I think I like the direct dye a little bit more. And number 12, I'd have to say the same. I like the direct dye more. The diluted section doesn't look so bad, but again, the direct dye looks a little more intentional. Number 3, there's not a real big difference on the diluted section. I think there is a slight difference, but the direct dye did dye it a little bit more. It almost looks brighter. I think the yellow is helping to reflect light a little bit better, so it's almost making it look more saturated. I don't know, it's really pretty. Number 4 obviously didn't take any color. Number 5, I think it looks slightly lighter, maybe a little bit more warm toned, but it's kind of hard to tell. It really still just looks like a brown. Same for number 6. I think there is a slight more warmth than before, but it's still like a brown. 7, it kind of starts to look like a goldeny brown, and then on 8 is where you start to really get like more of a yellowy golden. And then 8 through 10, I think looks really beautiful if you're going for a marigold kind of look. But number 11, I assume, is what the citrine is meant to look like, and it's a very bright, almost sunshine yellow color. As per usual, I have 2 comparisons today, and we're gonna start with Good Dye Young in the color Steal My Sunshine. This is comparable to number 12, number 11, number 10, and number 9. So as you can see, Steal My Sunshine from Good Day Young is a lot more of like a highlighter yellow. Under this direct lighting, the number 11 looks super bright and almost neon, but I'm not sure in natural lighting it's quite so neon. Essentially, it leans slightly more green, whereas the Citrine leans slightly more orange. I think both look the best on the number 11 swatch. And of course it depends on the look you're going for. But I feel like the Citrine looks a little bit more intentional on the 9 and 10. But like I said, the Steal My Sunshine leans slightly more green. And I feel like especially on the diluted section, it almost has like a lime look to it. So I kind of like the diluted section a little bit more for the Steal My Sunshine. But in case you were wondering the difference between the two, Citrine is a little bit warmer and Steal My Sunshine is a little bit more green leaning and definitely more neon looking. The other comparison I wanted to do today is Arctic Fox in the color Cosmic Sunshine. This is comparable to number 12, number 11, number 10, and number 9. So first things first, the Arctic Fox I did a while ago. So firstly, the swatches might be slightly different from the manufacturer. And I also did 2 separate diluted parts. So this is diluted and this is diluted even more. Based off of the diluted section, I'm thinking my 9 and 10 were a little bit darker the first time around. So that's why these aren't perfect comparisons, but I don't think... Okay, after looking at the 9 and 10 for Cosmic Sunshine, I felt like the 9 was closer to the 8 swatch, and 10 is kind of in between the 9 and 10 for Citrine. So that's why I moved it. Now these in terms of undertone are much closer to each other than the Steal My Sunshine, but there is a slight difference. I feel like Steal My Sunshine might be a hair closer to a true yellow and Citrine is just a notch closer to being slightly more orangey yellow. I feel like that's especially visible on the 11 swatches and then like the 10 and 9s. These two are the Citrine and you can see it just has like a slightly more warm look to it. And obviously I haven't done a ton of yellows on my channel yet, but if I were to do all the yellow dyes that I could possibly do, I wouldn't necessarily say they are dupes for each other. They're just very similar. So if we're speaking in terms of the dyes I have, Citrine would be the warmest yellow, Cosmic Sunshine would be right in the middle, and then Steal My Sunshine would be more on the green side. All right, so now I'd like to get into the before and after clips. Those, as well as any pictures you'll see at the end, will be done in natural lighting, and recreating the exact same environment with natural lighting on different days can be a little difficult. So if anything looks slightly different, that is probably why. I hope this video helped. If you have a request, I do have a link below to a Google form you can fill out, but just remember, I only do dyes that do not test on animals. Thank you so much to my patrons, and thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.